Hi everyone. We'll just wait for more people to come in before I begin. I'll be doing a demonstration on how you can do your own vase arrangement at home using the flowers that I sent out to you guys today. So while we wait for more people, maybe I can just introduce some of the flowers that we will be using today. Okay, let me know if you can't hear me or if my background music is too loud. Just feel free to let me know. Okay, so let me just introduce to you like the flowers that we will be using today. Hi Star! Okay, first off, let's talk about the leaves. Today I'm going to use this eucalyptus leaves. This is called the mini eucalyptus. The leaves are pointed, different from the usual populus or cinera that is kind of like a fatter leaf. Hi Han! Okay, so this is the coin eucalyptus. Hi Chanel! Okay, so another ingredient that I'll be using for foliage is this. This is called the lanuginosa. That's the scientific name for it. Hi Brendan. This is almost like a bush flower. It feels a bit dried. Very good for texture and they last really long as well. It feels kind of like a dried flower, but it isn't. It's actually fresh flowers. So that's that. For linear flowers today, we have the Mathiolas. Oh wait, I accidentally grabbed a carnation. Mathiolas. These are called the Mathiolas in a very nice champagne kind of color. Somebody mentioned last week that the Mathiolas are a bit hard to work with because their lifespan is a little bit shorter. They drop a lot, which is quite true. They tend to shed quite easily, but usually they start shedding from like the bottom, so you can just remove like the bottom florets if it starts going bad, and you can salvage them a little bit. That's for the linear flower. Another linear flower that we have that is also great for filler is this. You see how beautiful the individual florets are? This is called the ornithogallum. That's the scientific name for it. But this is also, they belong to the asparagus family actually. So really beautiful, white in color with many florets. Another filler flower that we will be using today is this spray rose. This is not a duotone spray rose, but the color is really interesting. Like inside the petal, it's kind of like a deep dark red, but on the outside is a little bit of the faded cafe kind of color. So I really like this. It gives a lot of interest to your arrangement and not just like a solid tone. So that's for the spray rose. I also have the pink carnations. Ta-da! This is how it looks like. I know a lot of people who don't like carnation, but personally I love it. It's just how you use it. They're also extremely hardy and inexpensive, so I love them. And then for our focal flower, we have the Canyaros in a beautiful dusty pink kind of color. This is called the Cappuccino. It's from Kenya, an African rose. We also have this. This is the double petal tulip in a very nice light pink with green kind of tone. We'll be using some of this as well. They are not bloomed yet, but over time they will bloom. Then last one. The last flower I'm going to use is the carnation spray. See, I told you I love carnation. Wait, this is tangled up. Yeah, I'm using them in white. Hello guys. Okay, this is the carnation spray. This is actually leftover from last week, so I'm just reusing them. If you have any arrangements or any flowers that is still good from last week, you can just totally still use them. The lifespan of carnations are very long, so I will still want to use them, especially now that they're like a week old. They bloom up really nicely, so they're still good to use. And that's all the flowers that we will be using today. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Okay, so last week I actually did a live that is pretty similar to this in terms of the techniques. Some of you guys have missed it, so I decided to do another one. I forgot to save the video last week, so today I will be sure to save it so that you guys can watch it again next time. Okay, so before you start, you need your vase. This will be the one that is going to be holding your flowers. I like a very simple cylinder kind of vase. Nothing too fancy, it's just something you can find at home. The kind of vase that you choose will sort of determine how your arrangement will look like. For example, let's look at this. The mouth is round and it's not too big, so you can imagine that your arrangement will sort of be in this shape and this size. If you have a very, very small mouth, your arrangement will be a lot more narrower because it will fit lesser stems as well, and because it's so linear, your arrangement will also be very, very narrow. Or if you have a very shallow and a very big mouth kind of vase, you can expect your arrangement to go really wide as well. So depending on your kind of vase that you'll be using, the arrangement will sort of differ in terms of shape. Okay, so before we begin, we will always start with the greenery first, so the foliage. So I'm using the coin eucalyptus. They will come in a sprig of like this, and usually they have multiple branches, and I like to split them up. So I'm just gonna snip them off accordingly. Okay, so now I have 4 pieces which I can use. So before I start, I like to remove the leaves at the bottom first. This is just to prevent any leaves from getting into the water and start corroding, contaminating your water. Then when you have clean water, your flowers will last longer. Okay, so I'll take another piece, also remove the leaves at the bottom, and then I'm just going to start forming an X shape first. I'll have one high and one low. Let's see this properly. One high, one low, and then I'm going to add some more in a crisscross fashion, so you have some sort of grid for your flowers to work with. And then just like this, your base is done. It becomes sort of like a grid structure for you. So for you to plug in all your flowers. Hi! Okay, so this is just your very, very, very basic foundation structure. We're going to add some more to create more grids, more stems being intertwined like this to create more structure for the other flowers to be on. Okay, I'm going to use this one next. This is also bushy and has a lot of branches, so they make a really good structure as well. Before you put it into your vase, you kind of want to measure it up against your vase and see how tall you want it and how much you want to snip off the ends. If you really, really want a tall centerpiece, I advise that you get a taller vase, so it won't be there will be some sort of balance. If you're using a height that is like this, but you didn't snip off your stems and it ends up being really tall, your arrangement will be very top heavy and you will have the tendency to flip over. So you want to think about balance in terms of your vase to your arrangement as well. So I'm just gonna snip off a little bit here, and then again I'm just crisscrossing it. I'll be doing this arrangement single-sided. The frontal is where I'm facing right now, and over time I'll just keep flipping around to show you guys how it looks like from my point of view. Okay, this looks good. I'm just gonna plug it in. This height is also good for me. And then just one shorter one. I like to work with different heights to create interest. Okay, so this is sort of my base. You see the stems are kind of crisscrossing, and then it's already providing the structure. When I put my whichever flowers that I'm using in, they're always in different heights. So you can see this one is slightly taller, this one is shorter, and this one is medium height. Okay, I also like to work with individual flowers. If I'm doing the greenery, I'll do the greenery. If I'm working with this flower, I'm working with this flower. Okay, after we have our base done, we need to start doing the linear flowers. So for the linear flowers, I have the Mathiolas here. And before I put it in, I also kind of just arrange them in my hand to see the kind of height, the kind of levels that I want to work with before I start snipping them off. And then again, I'll measure against my base to roughly know how much I want, and then I snip them off. all together. That way when you start putting them into your vase, you don't have to think about height again. They're already in different heights, so you don't have to think so much. I'll work with the tallest stem first. Since this is going to be my high point, I'll put the higher ones there. Okay, see it starts dropping right then, the Martiolas, they kind of drop very easily. Okay, remove any leaves that is below the mouth of your vase. Okay, this one is almost boiled out already, but I'll still use it. Still quite interesting to use. Put it in, and then this last piece, I'm just gonna put it about here. Okay, so another flower type is done. So you can see that it becomes like a V shape. I like to create a valley in between so you can put like the bigger blooms inside. So you can also see to sort of feature your focal flower. So yeah, this V is a good base to work with. Alright, next I will use my filler flowers. My filler flowers, I have the spray roses. Okay, so the spray roses, because they come out in like different sprigs as well, I will also be snipping them off. Depending on the height that you want. So because this vase is not very high, I can snip off to use them individually. Maybe I'll just keep these 3 still singular to 1 stem, and the rest of them I can just snip them off into 3 other separate stems. Then now we have 4 pieces to work with. Okay, again, so same thing, measure against your vase. I think this height is okay already. I don't need to snip them off, I just put them in. And this one, see, I measure it against my vase. It looks very high, so I'm gonna snip off the bottom a little bit. I can measure it again to see if you like the height. I quite like this, okay? Then I'll just put it in. Okay, continue the rest. Okay, and I have something like this. Hi, hello guys. Okay, I still have another stem of the spray rose. I'm gonna continue doing that. Snipping them off first. If you find that there are too many leaves, feel free to snip them off as well. You will want the water to go to the flowers instead of the leaves, so sometimes it's good to remove more leaves. But depending on your arrangement as well, if you like it very leafy, then of course you just leave it be. Okay, see I'm removing the bottom leaves as well. Create like a base for them. Remove these leaves. The flowers that I sent you guys have already been processed and conditioned, so meaning they have been detoned, and I removed most of the leaves already, so you don't have to do too much, but you still have to sort of process them depending on the height that you're going. Okay, so that's that. I have my linear flowers, my filler flowers all in already, and even though after putting all these spray roses and filler flowers, there's still like a deep V valley here to create space. Okay, let's move on to the next flower. Let's start with the cappuccino. The cappuccino is sort of like my focal flower. I will want them to be the ones that receive the most attention, so they will kind of be further out from the rest of the arrangement. Same thing, I'm just going to put it in my hands and then stagger them into different heights, and then I'll snip off accordingly. Okay, let's look at that. Tallest one, I'll probably put them here. I'm still putting them in a crisscross fashion when I put them into the vase, so that I keep on creating more structure and more green as I move along. Okay. You can also feel free to adjust the flowers a little bit accordingly to how you want the shape to be, because we're not using foam or flower frog or any sort of mechanism to hold them. They're still very free to move around, and even though we're not using any mechanism, the overall shape will still hold up quite nicely. So that's that with putting the cappuccino rose. 3 of them. all in different heights and different planes. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, I have these carnations. The carnations they just arrived. The shipment just arrived, so they're still a bit closed. If you want to make them bloom, you can always give them a little massage like this. Massage them and then just gently push open the flowers, and then it blooms even more. Like this. I'll show you the difference between these two. See, one was open and one is unopened. You can do this to carnations because carnations are very, very hardy. They can withstand this kind of folding and this kind of pushing. Not every flower can, but carnations are great. I'm just gonna continue opening the rest of the carnations. And they last a really, really long time as well. Okay. Okay, so all three, I've opened them. Same thing, staggering my hands and snip. Measure against, okay, look good. I'm gonna start putting them in. And one more here. Okay. Okay, here's how it looks like. Something like this. Okay, if you look at the stems inside, they're still crisscrossing, so providing a very good grid for the other flowers to be in. Okay. Okay, I have these two stems of the ornithogallum. I'm sorry, this is the tulip. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. Ornithogallum, this one. The asparagus. Okay. This is a really nice curve and the flowers bloom really nicely. They will still continue to bloom all the way to the top. See, it looks like an asparagus. So depending on the shape, I would also let the flower, the curvature, tell me where they want to go. So since this is like curving this way, I probably will let it curve this way as well. And then just put it in, like so. And the other one, perhaps I'll have them curve this way. They'll just cut accordingly. And this shorter. And then crisscross it over there. Let me show you how it looks like. That. So you still got your high point and your low point. A lot of people say that like the vase arrangement has to be very rounded, perfectly rounded. That's not the case. You can still create a very organic shape using just like a cylinder vase without any sort of mechanics. That's still okay. And then next we have the tulips. I love, 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 love tulips. They're still unopened right now, but they will still continue to open and blossom as the days goes by. So they're great for your homes actually because they will continue to bloom and they won't die out so fast. Look at the S curve. This is beautiful. Again, let them tell you where they want to go. This curves this way. I'll probably put them here. Alright. And this one maybe about here. This is a good height. I'm just gonna stick it up a little bit. And this last one, because this is the biggest among the three stems, this one has the biggest blossom. It bloomed the most. I'm gonna make it in the front. So we have some nice focal point. Find space to plug your stems in when you find that it's too difficult to start plugging things in. It's getting kind of full already, so we're almost there. We don't need a lot of products, don't need a lot of stems to fill up one arrangement. So this is about there already. And then I have my last flowers. If you guys have any questions along the way, just please shoot. I will try to answer them as I make this arrangement. Okay, so my last flower type. This is the last really. This spray carnation white ones from last week, leftover from last week. spray carnations make very good floaty flowers, I like to call them. They create a lot of interest because they're so small. They kind of just like flyaways in your arrangement, so it makes it look very organic. So I really like using carnations actually. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I really love them. Okay, because this was from last week, there are some like petals that's already bruised. I'll just remove them, all those ugly petals, so they still look brand new. Okay, just put them here. One more. How about here? I'm just rearranging some of the placements because they were fighting. Okay, one last stem. I'm gonna put it here, right in front. And it's done. Ta-da! So, this is how you can create your own centerpiece at home. Oh, that's your question. Will the stems of the tulips soften before the other hardier stems like roses and carnations? Interesting question. Tulip stems are a little bit more brittle compared to the hardier stems like roses and the likes. Usually I like to cushion them in between different flowers just so they have a sort of support to kind of prop them up a little bit, or you can always wire them. That's what most traditional florists do. They kind of wire the tulips and then so that they can be more bendy and malleable, but I don't like to do that. I think wiring them and poking through the stems kind of damage them a little bit and hurts the integrity of the stem. So I don't. I will still look at where I want to place like the individual stems of the tulips and then make sure that there are other stems to cushion them up. I hope that answers your questions. Like even for this is okay because it's still in the front and it curves really nicely, so I just leave it be. For this tulip that is here, it's still in between the rest of the stems, so it props it up a little bit. So yeah, hope that answers your questions. Are these this week's subscription? Yes, they are. But not everybody will receive the same type of flowers because the supply now is extremely limited. So I will curate them for you. Not everybody will receive the exact same color palette. Yeah. Yes. Where did I get the flowers from? I have this wholesaler that I go to a lot. It's called Gigi Flowers. You can Google them. They allow walk-ins as well, but now it's a circuit breaker period, so you can't walk in. Maybe after the whole circuit breaker is done, you guys can visit them. How long can this arrangement last? What can I do if I want it to dry nicely? Every flower type has different lifespan. Typically, the flowers will start to look a bit tired about 3 days later, depending on the flower types. Like for example, I said the carnations are extremely hardy. Like even these white ones were from last week and they still look great. So carnations are hardy. The one that is probably has the lowest lifespan here is probably the Matiola, but they will start shedding from the bottom and you just remove the bottom petals upwards so that you can still salvage the ones on the top and then increase their longevity of each stem. But otherwise, I think it's good to place at home for like a week or so, but you start removing the flowers that starts to wilt more. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Oh, how to dry them nicely. I'm not really an expert when it comes to drying my flowers, but typically I'll just pick out the entire arrangement that I've done it like this. Just cinch it with like a rubber band or something like that just to hold them all in place. Unless you're drying them out individual stems, then after that I'll hang it upside down and just leave it somewhere in not in direct sunlight, somewhere that is cool, and then just let them dry over time. It will take a few days for them to dry completely. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions you guys have? Yeah. also know what kind of flowers y'all want me to demo or explore and show you how to work with them. That'll be great. Hi, you're trying to running a sole proprietorship business? Yes. Will you post this video again? I joined halfway. I will, I think. The live video will still be available after 24 hours, for 24 hours after this. I'm not really sure if I can save it. I tried last week, but I'm not sure how. I'm not really very tech savvy, but I'll try to save it in the highlights or something so you all can still see it next time. How much would you sell this for? How much will I usually sell this for? I think for like vase arrangement, typically they go about like 90 to 120. Yeah, somewhere there. Should I? Oh no, I missed that. Let me just... should I put my arrangement in the aircon room? Will it help to last them longer? It's been so hot lately. Oh yes, definitely. Flowers like cooling environments. So put them in non-heated, non-direct sunlight kind of place will be great to keep their longevity. Yeah, if it's in your aircon room, that's great. They love the cool. What was that? Oh, peony. Yeah, okay. It's currently peony season now, so maybe next week we can do something with peony. That's a lot of people's favorite. Demo a foliage only bouquet table. Oh, that's a great idea. Thanks, Han. I probably will do that. Actually, working with foliage only is a lot harder because you have to think a lot about the texture and the different shades of greenery. So that's harder, but I would like that. Okay, it is 6:27 already. Maybe we'll just wrap this up by 6:30, so we have 3 more minutes to ask any questions if you guys have any. Yeah, I think I'll take a look at these flowers. This is going up on in my living room later. I've been using a lot, like doing a lot of flowers at home lately. My home looks good. If not, usually they're all like leftovers. Will you be able to do a demo on a bouquet arrangement? Yeah, sure. Bouquet is in like the ones for the bridal bouquet, the ones that you hold in the hands, right? We can do that. A bouquet, the techniques to do a bouquet is quite different from doing like a vase arrangement. It will take quite a bit of practice. So a bit harder to teach like that. I can do a demo and you guys can still try it at home. How many stems can you expect in the home floral kit? Usually I send about like 5 to 6 floral types and there's about 3 to 5 stems of each. It really depends. Not every flower will have the same quantity because like for example the spray rose, because they already come in many sprigs, I don't need to give you like 5 stems. You probably only need like 2 stems. So it varies. But usually I'll give you about like 5 to 6 varieties. Another suggestion, 1 ingredient only. I do it weekly using yellow palm only. Whoa! That's a challenge, Han. Okay, single ingredient. That's actually a good challenge. I might actually take on your challenge. I would be interested to do that. That's probably harder than just doing a foliage only kind of centerpiece. But single ingredient, it's a lot about shapes and form. I'll have to do that. We'll do that. We'll do that next week maybe. Let me think of a flower type that I can use for a single ingredient one. Challenging me, hun. Yes. What else is there? Okay, we have 1 more minute to go. Otherwise, I'll be heading for dinner soon. I hope you guys are doing great. Yeah, Xueqi, please laugh at Han. He's challenging me here. But it's okay, look, a good challenge. Ta-da! Yes. Hey, thanks for giving me a heart. Give me more hearts, people. Hi, Star. You're welcome. It's just a very simple sharing with you guys on how to do your own floral arrangement at home. Hi, John. Actually, if you guys can go say hi to John, he is one of the guys from GG Flowers. If you need any flowers, you can go to him. Oh no, he's going to kill me after that. Seeing my flowers turn to an art piece, you mean? Cassia, please. Melcy said, use Caspia only. Oh my god, no? Okay. I really don't like Caspia because of the smell. I generally don't use Caspia. Can you imagine if it's a single ingredient arrangement and I use Caspia only? I'm not gonna put it in my house. It will stink my whole house. No. Oh wait, okay. It's already 6:31. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining. I hope this helps. I'll try to put this in the highlight so you guys can still follow it after 24 hours. But otherwise, if y'all have any like suggestions on what I should demo next time, please let me know as well. No Caspia. Haha, smelly. Yeah, no Caspia. No. Okay lah, but last week I used Caspia. Just a little bit of it. A little bit is okay, but when you have the whole bunch, it stings the whole place. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I hope to see you guys again next week. Hopefully, if I'm going to do another live session. I don't know yet. The real challenge is surviving the Caspia. You are right. Okay, thanks for the hearts, people. I'll see you guys next week. Perhaps I'll let you all know. If not, just DM me if you have any questions or suggestions. I'll be happy to answer them. See you guys. Have a good dinner. Bye bye.